There we go, finally. Hi, everybody. We're just getting connected here, waiting for Freddie to connect us to the big show, to the to the live event on Cork Body Mind Spirit. And so we're going to hang out here for just a few minutes. Oh, I got on too early. I thought my clock says 25 past. Oh well, we're just going to kill a little time here until he comes and connects us into the big page so that everybody can see us on the big page. How y'all keeping? I see one person. Hello, how are you? This is fiddle time until they get us connected to the main event page. So we're going to talk about energy today. So if you have questions, it's a talk for newbies, beginners, up to mid kind of things. Now, if you are experiencing, have an experienced question, that's no problem. But I'm going to be talking about basics and different sort of things. So if you have questions about energy interaction, about how energy works, or how you can transmit or accept energy, anything like that, just pop your questions in and I'll answer them as we go today. And then again, anything that you put down there, anything that you put on there, I will be going back through and answering questions. I may answer them vocally, or if you put something down and I don't say anything about it, that means I'm going to send you I will respond on the video to answer any questions that you have. So anybody, do we have energy therapists out here, people who do energy? You want to give a thumbs up or something? Give me a little emoji, a high five or something. So if you are a therapist or you already know, you're already practicing. And, we're just going to have fun today. Today's all about relaxing, having some fun, and understanding more about how we are energetic beings. And this is something that I look back now, and I'm going to tell a little story in the talk. It's something I look back to, and I think about when I was a child, how many cues there were that I had some sort of an energy event going on around me all the time. Hi, Christina, you're a newbie. Great. Well, then this is going to be real basic stuff, and we're going to talk about it. But as I was saying, after becoming a therapist, I realize now that as a child, I had so many things going on that I now know were directly related to me having a very big energy, so to speak, for a kid anyway. And I'll talk a little more about all those events and things like that. It's pretty interesting, but I'd look back to them. We're waiting for Freddie. Freddie's going to connect us up here and get us on the big show. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with our actual talk. So anybody have any interests in knowing more about energy or maybe becoming an energetic? Hi, Carl. Thank you. It's great to be here. Yeah, I'm getting back to myself here. I've not been sick. I've just not been great lately with some things. I've got some chronic issues that kind of popped their little head up and said, "Hey, you," and I went, "Oh." Now I'm going, "Gotcha." So, so all's better, and I got good news last weekend that it looks like I'm going to be able to get it all sorted out, hopefully by the end of summer. So I'm ecstatic, and in that, let me say, it took me being able to manage my energy, to change my thought patterns, and to change how I interacted with this specific problem for me to be able to be as good as I am and have made it as long as I have with this particular issue. It's a mobility issue. And but by using energy, doing healing, using hypnosis, all the sorts of things that I am trained in to help me be able to interact with this issue in a more positive note, helping me to be able to put healing into my own body. And every one of us, whether you have a certificate or not, can do healing on yourself. You have that ability. We have that innate, natural, energetic ability to heal ourselves. And I know a lot of people are going, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're nuts. Maybe I am. But I believe this is a fact because I've seen it. I had and I'll tell this story again later. We only got a couple minutes now. Oh, my clock must be behind because this clock, I don't know about clocks. We've all lost an hour somewhere. But hey, Sarah, how you doing? Lovely to see you. But I know as a fact, I did energy work. I'm going to tell you a little, I'll tell this story again. But I had somebody who was Irish but had been in Australia, had moved to Australia. They moved back, or I don't know if they moved back or were just visiting. And she came to me and she said she wanted some healing. And I said, great, that's good. And she told me that she was moving along and, just different things needed to be done. I found out later that she was asthmatic. And when I was working on her, I just felt an energy interruption here in the chest. And I went, okay, let's get this out of here. Did I know what it was? No. But I started working with it. And it was almost like I could reach up and pull it out. Okay. That was the best way I know to say it. When I did this, she just took this big gasp of breath. And I'm like, ooh, okay, we did something. I'm not sure what yet, but we did something. And afterwards, she verified that she'd had asthma. And she sent me a letter, say probably about, 3 months later, and said, since I have seen you, I have not had an asthma attack. I have had no asthma issues. So energy can heal. Now, can it heal on its own? No. But it takes the person's self to be ready for the healing. And again, I'll explain all of this once we start. We got a couple minutes here. Freddie's here. Hey, Freddie. And he's connecting us. And as soon as we're ready, we're going to pop right over and get started on this great talk because it's great. It's to be able to know that you have the power and the ability not only to heal others, but to heal yourself. And that's where we start, is what I particularly teach Reiki. We teach about healing yourself. Okay, we're connected. And as we now begin. Hi, I'm Mary Anderson. And first, I want to thank you for watching the replay if you're catching this on replay. If you're catching it live, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. And today, I want to talk to you today about energy. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Now, just a little history on me. Some of you know me, some of you may not. I am a retired nurse. I retired when I moved here in Ireland in 2006. And I began to understand that there was way more to making people well than what we were doing in the health system. So I started searching for that back, about in 2004. I started searching. What is it? What's going to make the difference? And I started doing different things. And first thing I did was I found someone who was talking to me about Reiki energy work. And so I started having some sessions and decided I wanted to learn. And so I became a Reiki master teacher. I've investigated other ways of moving energy. There are lots of ways. They're all good. There's Reiki, there's shamanism, there's bioenergy, there's, get ready for this, hypnosis. Yes, hypnosis is and can be considered, now, don't tell my boss, but hypnosis can be an energy therapist, energy modality. Why? Because we are reprogramming the subconscious. We're helping the client to get into a relaxed state and suggest and be able to listen to the suggestions of how to make the changes that they want in their life. That's the short version. I've had a lot of clients tell me, Mary, the next day I felt like somebody was moving furniture in my head. Well, that seems to be very reasonable because we are moving. We're moving all the old files, all the old programs that we no longer want to use, and we're moving them out of the way. The subconscious is moving them to make room for the new information that's coming. So Energy is in every aspect of our life. It's in every aspect of any therapy. It's just there. It's how we're connected. All right. And my byline is, it's all about energy. Everything is about energy. You as a human being have energy, whether it's just the fact that as a nurse, I can measure your energy of your heart. They can measure the energy of your major organs. We can measure the energy of your brain. We can measure the energy of any part of you because it's there to be measured. We have energy that interacts. When we decide that we want to learn an energy modality, it's because we want to be a healer or we want to do something. And yes, I am all for formal education. If you go and take a class and a course and learn more about energy, it is brilliant. But don't let that stop you from being able to connect to your own self and do some healing on your own self, okay? When I was a child, I started this story a little while ago, but when I was a child, I was a little child too. I was skinny. But when I was a child, my parents used to always buy me, they would get me watches. They'd get me a watch for Christmas, my birthday, whatever. And I could put that watch on, and within 3 days, it stopped and it wouldn't run again. Anywhere in that first 3 days I had it. My dad would go try to get it fixed, get new batteries, and the minute I put it back on, bam, it's gone. Because my energy, I would say, knowing what I know now, my energy was interfering with the mechanisms in the clock and would not let the clock run because my energy was kind of overrunning it, overpowering it. Now, I'm not saying that's because I'm so great. I'm saying that because my energy, it was, what do we say, unmeasured, unmetered. I didn't know anything about it. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid doing my thing. And I thought it was just strange that, and when I was older, boyfriends did want to get me watches and stuff. I said, don't get me a watch. It'll just break. I promise you, it will just break. And sure enough, it did. Now, over time, what happened? Well, over time, we grow up, we get into society, we are told that's silly stuff, that's not real. And we begin to kind of believe all that stuff. Until finally, I was probably in my 30s when I realized that I was able to wear a watch. But by then, I didn't care. I didn't want to wear a watch anymore, so not a big deal. So what I'm saying to you is, if we aren't aware of this and we sort of let the blinders go up, well, then it sort of becomes something that's in the background. Now, it's not in our conscious awareness. It's not something we're connected to, but it's still with us. And to highlight that, let me say this. When I started learning energy work, when I started taking Reiki and learning energy, my energy began to blossom again. I was reconnecting to the energetic part of me. And at one point in my poor house, every time I turned a light bulb on, I blew light bulbs. Every time, and this is trying to learn how to manage my energy, I'm blowing out light bulbs. I think a light bulb might last a week in my house. And that went on for a little while till I learned more about control and things like that. One time I was doing a healing session on a psychic, and she and I were there, and I was doing the energy session, and I was playing my favorite CD of raindrops, rainstorms. When I was done, I went to play the CD just for myself after the session, and it went, and all I could get was rattly stuff. And I went, what the heck? I played the whole, I went through each segment of it, and it just went, and I'm like, that is terribly weird. So I had a friend, this was when I lived in Nashville, I was doing some singing. I took it to an engineer friend of mine, he had his own studio. And I gave it to him. I said, tell me what's wrong with that. What's wrong with that? I said, it was perfectly fine the other day. He played it. He goes, it's erased. I said, what do you mean it's erased? He said, it's erased. It can't be erased. He said, no, it's erased. And he, which I didn't know at the time, was also a Reiki master. And he said, what were you doing when you did this? And I said, I was doing a healing session. The girl was a psychic. We were working. He said, well, that's what did it. It's all your energy. I'm like, what? And I'm still, even though I was learning about energy, I'm still incredulous going, can that really be? But it can be, apparently. So I've erased CDs. Electrical equipment, if there's anything going on and I'm around, it's probably me because it just happens. But as I've gotten older, I won't tell you how old, but as I've gotten older, I've learned more and more about managing my energy, being aware of my energy, learning how to, particularly since I do energy readings and I do energy work, being able to control when my energy is working and when my energy is just being me. And that is a protection for me as well, because if I don't keep some sort of a protective agent around, then my energy connects to everything else, just like your energy and my energy right now, because we're involved in a conversation. Our energy is, let's just say, these are little circles and they're intertwined like this. Okay? And depending on how attentive you are, it could be this deep, it could be this deep, or it could just be like this. Oh, this is interesting. So there is always an energy connection, always. It's just like, say that you are going in and that you are, going into work or somewhere, and you're in a great mood, and you go in, and within about 5 minutes, you're like, oh, geez, what's going on? I feel crappy. And why am I so agitated all of a sudden? What's wrong with me? And then you find out later that one of your coworkers on the other side of the room was having a really rotten day. Well, you picked up their rotten day. And this is why it's so important to learn more about how to manage your energy, and allow you to be able to, number one, keep everybody else's stuff at bay and manage your own energy so that you're not actually interfering with anybody else. Now, that's a very simplistic explanation, but that's the basis of it. I try to keep it as simple as possible. That's the very basis of it. Now, I'm going to go back this way just a second. Da, da, da. Okay, oops. I'm sorry for that. There we go. Sorry for that. Sorry for that, whatever interruption that was. I apologize. I was just trying to move something, and I got the other side of the table, so apologies for that. So anyway, learning to manage your energy is so important. Why? Because if you don't have energy boundaries, you're not going to be as likely to have behavioral boundaries. Now, what does that apply to? That applies to you feeling like you're responsible for everything, feeling like you're taking care of everybody else and not yourself, feeling like if somebody needs you, you have to drop everything and run, feeling like in a relationship, whatever that person wants is what you should do because you need to put everything into that relationship to make it work. Wrong on all accounts. Wrong on all accounts. Why? I've lived all those accounts. Wrong on all accounts. Okay? That is not how you live your life. If you have good energy boundaries, you'll end up having good behavioral boundaries. You'll know that your job is to take care of you first. Excuse me, I'm going to give you a hierarchy. If you're married, it'll work. If you're just, single, whatever. But your hierarchy goes self, partner, or boyfriend, or whoever. Reason being, well, I'll tell you the reason in a minute. Partner. Then comes children. Then comes work. Okay? That's how it works. Why? Number one, if you are otherwise taking care of everybody over here and you're here at the bottom of the hierarchy, when you need support and help, where are you going to get it? You're at the bottom. You put yourself at the bottom. However, over here, you're at the top, making sure you're well taken care of. Okay? Now, why did I put husband or partner before children? And this is a mistake a lot of women make. And I'm not being, it just is. It's a mistake. But we've been socialized to believe this. If you want to know why, think back to the kings and queens who were, looking for heirs because that was what was important, and we need to nurture that so that we have an heir. I would say that's as far back as it goes, how far back it goes. But in reality, what it is that number 2 is the partner or the husband. Why? Because this is the person who made everything happen. This is the person that you're creating a life with. And part of that life is having children. And when those children grow up and you haven't paid attention to this relationship, poof, you're living with a stranger in your old age and may end up not liking who that person is anymore. All right? So, self, partner, then comes children, for the very reason I said. They're going to leave at some point, okay? And you're going to be back with this. So definitely that. And then work, which it's important, but it's not more than you. It's not more important than you. And I see so many people. I used to be one of them. I was a very A-type personality. Zoom, 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 zoom. But the bottom line is that work will live without you. It was there before you came. Unless you're an entrepreneur and you're doing your own business, let me make that clear. But other than that, if you're working for someone, that job was there before you were there, and it will be there after you were there. I had the very same thing. I was a nurse. Nursing can be a very codependent profession. And sure enough, I worked and I sacrificed and I helped. And these were my friends. And what I had to come to realize when it was time for me to move on is that they were my coworkers. Some of them were my friends, but not all of them. And I had an obligation to look after myself first. That was after I worked there for 12 years. And it took me a while because at year 9, I was thinking about changing and doing something different. But it took me 12 years to know and understand that I am what comes first. So this is all about energy hierarchy, or what I call energy hierarchy. So as I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and you can pop them up here, and I'll answer them as we go. And if I don't answer them as we go, I will come back and answer them after the program is over. So, bottom line, energy is healing. So, what I want y'all to do, and I can't see you, so that's okay. What I want you to do is I want you to rub your hands. If you're newbies, you may or may not know this, but if you're an experienced therapist, you'll know. But just rub your hands together. There's lots of energy chakras in our hands. And so if you rub the hands together, you're beginning to activate those chakras. Now, I want you to put the hands close together. Sit real still. Now, don't touch your hands to each other. They'll peek through you. Feel your hands there and just close your eyes and just focus on what's between your hands. And as you focus, see if you can feel anything between your hands. See if you feel, it could be a vibration, it could be hot, it could be cold. If you get something, leave me a little note and let me know what you found. Let me know what you found. Personally, right now, once I got started, I'm getting a bit of throbbing going through my hands. Just boom, boom, boom. Now, in the beginning, when I very first started, it was nothing more than tingles. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. These are all things that you'll learn as you develop your system or work within a system. These are things that you'll learn how your hands work with certain things about your hands, because everybody's different. The inner energy does not interact the same with everybody. Yes, I can show you the basics, but you will find your own system and your own ways that your hands work that will work for you. So, if anybody found anything, drop me a little note there. Put a little note down there if you got anything, okay? Now, I don't know if you know this one, but when I was a kid, this was all the big scream. And I know what it is now. So, it's you take your hand like this, either hand, right hand, left hand. And that gave me a cramp. Sorry, I'm going to have to give you the other hand. So, what we're going to do is you get your hand, and what you do is you come down. I hope you can see. Fan your fingers out, and then touch. Don't touch exactly, but just come right above. Bring all your fingers together like you're gathering up threads and pull. And see what you feel. And just do it a couple of 3 times and see what you feel. This is called, oh dear, what did we call this? Oh gosh. I'll tell you plainly what it's called. It's called you're stretching the fibers. You're stretching energy fibers is what you're doing. Okay? And that's something to do. Like, say that you got a block. Say you feel like you're having problems where you don't feel like you can really move on in life, and things are where you feel really stuck. Well, that's your power center. This is your solar plexus. So take both your hands, rub them up good. Take both your hands, because you can do this. Sit down and just close your eyes for a minute and just sort of center yourself. Be sure you're centered. Be sure you're grounded. Okay? And then I want you to think about moving forward. Like, imagine yourself walking through a door or past a wall or something. And take your hands, gather up the strings, and then pull. Gather the strings and pull. And once you start to feel energy in there, that can feel like, again, vibration, hot, cold, butterflies, whatever. Then just put your hands on top of your tummy and just sit there and hold it and take a deep breath in and blow out. And just notice how it feels in there. And really, really go ahead and imagine yourself walking forward. So it's using a bit of energy and visualization. This is, again, very basic, okay? So, and something that you can do for yourself, and hold that. When I want to do any work on myself, sometimes I have a bad hip and a bad knee. That's what I've got. So I'm going to hold my hip, or I'll hold my knee, and just imagine the energy running through me into my hip or my knee. So that's basically what it is. When I learned energy, I already had the energy, but what I learned was how to bring it from a higher vibrational source through me and into wherever I was working, whether it was on me or someone else. So that's the basics of energy. You can do it yourself. If you have a headache, put your hands here and here. Deep breath. And what you're doing is you're creating a pathway from the front to the back. If it's a tension headache, this will work very, very well. Okay. If it's a sinus headache, you might want to go like this, or make a little teepee like this if your sinuses are bothering you. All kinds of little hand positions you can do. These are things you can do any day, every day. Focus, putting energy into yourself, and help you to move it on, to heal, and to allow yourself. And it's about looking at, again, ground yourself, but connect. It's like you're connecting to heaven, or imagine connecting to angels, if you believe in angels, or your spirit guides, or just imagine a big, beautiful, high vibratory realm. Give it a color, white, blue, whatever, and imagine you're bringing it into your body. All kinds of, those are just a few simple little things. Sore throats here. But again, this sort of thing, when you can connect two spaces, what you're doing is creating an energy pathway, and you're running energy back and forth through there, so that not only are you working on the head itself, but you're working on the pathways between the head. So there's lots of things you can do for yourself, and that's really the most important thing that I want you to know and understand today, is that you have the power to heal yourself. You have the power to do that. Now, formal training I always advocate for, because it helps you. What I learned from me through becoming a Reiki master teacher, it taught me a lot how to connect. But the biggest thing that I learned from that was how to manage my own energy. And this is what we need here: how to manage your energy, not let people in, not be throwing your energy out, not be interacting in spaces you don't need to be interacting. Getting a better energetic vibe for yourself so that you can have better behavioral boundaries and things. So those are all really, really good. Now, I was telling a story before we came on. For those you weren't here, I'll repeat the story. Excuse me. I had a client come, and they were Irish, and they were back. They had moved to Australia, and they were back for a visit. And she had, I don't remember if she mentioned beforehand that she had asthma or not, but whatever it was, I was doing the healing, when I got to her lungs, I was like, oh, this is yucky. So, and I could, and how did I know? I could feel it, the energy felt very heavy in my hands. And so I just said, let's get rid of this in my head. Okay, I'm going, let's get rid of this. So it's like I reached up under her diaphragm. I sort of, I didn't touch her, but I was like reaching in there, grabbing, and then just pulling it out. Now, was it going to work? I was hoping it was going to work some. And at the best, I was hoping it was going to completely get rid of it. And in 3 days, after she called me, after she had been with me, she called me back and she said, Mary, I haven't had an asthma attack since you've been with me, since I've been there and had that healing. And I said, that is amazing. And as far as I know, she's never had them since. So brilliant work, brilliant stuff. And the power of energy, it's in your hands, literally in your hands, literally. And it's like people ask me, well, how? Because right now with the COVID, I only bring very vulnerable people into me in person, because I feel like there's no way I can, and this is in hypnosis, I bring the vulnerable folks to me because I don't feel like they'll get the benefit because they're so vulnerable offline. So what I do is, though, most of my work is online now, but a lot of what we're doing, I do healing, distant healing, and I've had my soul energy experiences up online, and people go, well, how? I said, well, you can do it. We can do it online. Well, how can you do that? I said, because energy's energy, okay? Energy is energy, and it can connect. You can connect your energy. I can connect my energy to your energy. So to do this, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to send out a bit of healing to you, okay? I want y'all just to be a little bit receptive. I'm going to take a deep breath, and we'll just do a very, very quick little healing session, okay? So I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to imagine that you're all sitting right here in front of me. Deep breath in, and here we go. Now, unfortunately, when I do healing, I also pick up a lot of stuff. I feel a lot of sadness in the group, just sad. Some anxieties, people who, it's like they're on their last moment of trying to figure out what to do. Just accept the healing and allow it to ease that anxiety, because anxiety is nothing more than fear of the unknown. So I want you to imagine yourself that you're capable now of knowing that whatever you do is going to take care of it, okay? Sadness, I want you to imagine something very happy, something that has made you feel brilliant and bright in your life. And I want you to connect to that, and I want you to feel that through your body, through your mind, and just spread it through your heart and soul. Some of you are grieving. As somebody, I feel like I just want to break down in utter tears. And grieving, it's necessary. It's necessary. You must grieve. And I don't recommend withholding the tears. I recommend that you take the time to grieve. And whether it's you take time through the day, or if you feel, just express yourself. Maybe write about your grief. That would help you to express it. There we go. Ooh, lots of energy flying through my hands. So it's good stuff. We're going to do just a little bit more, and then we'll come back to the discussion. Just a little bit more we're going to send you here. Somebody is in desperation, and I want you to know and understand there is a solution for you. It's not obvious, but it begins with you understanding that there is a solution. Now, all solutions may not be what you want, but they are going to be what will get you out of where you are. So there is a solution. Absolutely. One more. I feel that there is some people who everything's fine, everything's good, and it's not really. So I can understand keeping the good face on. I understand that. I do it sometimes myself, but don't lie to yourself, okay? Be honest with yourself. And if it's not okay, find out how to make it better, okay? One last whoosh of energy coming to you guys. And with that, I give you lots of love, healing, and blessings. All to you. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that. So anyway, so that's energy. I've given you some tips of how you can do some healing for yourself. I have helped with other things with you. Um, it's we have a question here about energy drawing and painting. Oh, you're very welcome, Sarah. Okay, energy drawing and painting, what drives it? It's about you're connecting to energy. Okay, some people come into me and say, do I have somebody coming in my life? Okay, do I have a boyfriend or something coming in my life? So let me try to explain it this way. It might be easier to explain. And what I'll do is I'll probably send you a little detailed explanation later. Okay, when I'm connecting to detailed, when somebody's asking me, okay, who's coming? What do they look like? What's going on? What you're connecting to is you're connecting to the possibilities that are out there. You're connecting to the possibilities. And the stronger that possibility is for that person, the more that you're going to see. Or if you're drawing the energy of someone, because when I work with people, I see with my eyes closed. It's the truth. I see through my eyelids the color of and pattern of their energy, because I'm seeing it in my energetic self. That's the best way I know to explain it. I also feel sometimes there are people with extra. I did some research, and there are people with extra rods and cones in their eyes that can actually. I've found other people who can actually do the same thing. So I'm beginning to think it's a physiological thing as well as an energetic thing. I don't know for sure, but that's my research project at the moment. But so when I'm looking at this, I'm looking for the possibilities. I'm looking for a strong vibration. Now that's how I do it. Some people may say I'm working through a spirit guide or I'm working through the angels. That's all perfect, however you work. But for me, it's about connecting. And the funniest story that I have is somebody asked me about a person, and I said, right, their name is, they asked me about a particular name. So what I did is I said their name to pick up their energy. In my head, I said their name, and I went, oh, oui, oui. And her eyes got big, and she goes, he's French. I said, okay, well then everything's okay then, because I picked up that energy. And I don't know why I said oui, oui, except that I was connected to that energy of that person, and that's how it expressed itself through me. But if you're doing spirit drawing and energy drawing, it's about you being able to pick up the energy around someone, okay? Their energy, their higher self. When I'm looking at someone, I'm seeing their energy patterns. That's part of their being, and it's like their soul energy and how it sits in the body and what's blocked and what's open. I hope that helps with that question. It's a hard question to ask because everybody works differently, and it's perfectly fine however you connect to connect that way so that you can get what you're looking for out of the experience. And I hope that's very helpful. Okay, let me check, see if there's any last questions. Nope. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to start winding this up. Okay, I've had such fun working with you, such fun helping you, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you and talking to you about energy, because it's all about energy. Everything is energy. Everything about us, everything that surrounds us, everything we are is all about the energy. Now, I've given you lots of tips and things for you to do your own healing. However, if you're interested in learning a modality, I am going to be doing an online Reiki course in May. I'm going to say probably the third weekend in May. I haven't solidified those yet. But if you are interested, you can PM me your email or just put on here, Reiki me. Give me a comment that says Reiki me, and I'll get in touch with you and tell you more about it and see if that's something you want to do, and we certainly can help you. I am all about You don't have to have training, but I recommend whatever training you can get simply because it will blossom your life. I mean, it will just, it's brilliant. It helps you with connecting to the energy, learning to manage your own energy and how to project that energy. Just like when I did the healing here, I was transcending time and distance to send it to each and every one of you. Okay? And that's how it works. Listen, thank you so, so much for being here. I look forward to any of your questions or requests or anything. Again, if you are interested in taking a Reiki course in May, just give me a comment, Reiki me, and we'll get that on the way. Okay? So thank you so much. And I truly appreciate you being here. And I wish you a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.